Hi, I'm Dr. Carolyn Davidson, one of the cardiologists at Elliot Cardiovascular Consultants. Today I'm going to show you how to make sort of a basic tabbouleh, and the greatest part of this recipe is you can really sort of make it your own. So I'm going to show you how to make it with bulgur wheat, but you could make it with quinoa, you could make it with any one of the other 20 grains I showed you on one of the earlier videos. So make it however you like. It's a great recipe to kind of use whatever fresh vegetables you have. I have parsley, radishes, tomatoes, and cucumbers today, but you could add peppers. You could basically put anything you have in your own garden or any spare vegetables you have in the refrigerator. You could put spinach in it. You could put arugula, different lettuces, kind of whatever you have around. It's a great way to sort of use whatever you've got left and make it into a nice, really fresh, refreshing summer salad. So the first thing we're going to do is make a vinaigrette. So I know I've showed you this before, but we're just going to start with sort of basic. You start with Dijon mustard, maybe a tablespoon or two. I usually use about a half of a lemon, so just sort of squeeze it in there. And the lemon's been cleaned and washed, as have my hands. I sort of get rid of the seeds that come out. And then I also add another sort of vinegar. This one is an apple cider vinegar. Nice splash of that. And as you probably all know by now, I like a mix of vinegar. So I'm also going to add just a splash of balsamic vinegar. I think it's really great for anything with vegetables, and it's a little bit sweet. So really just honestly just a splash. So just going to whisk that all up. And I'm slowly going to add my extra virgin olive oil. So as I've talked about in the past, I sort of just whisk it as I go. And with the olive oil, vinegar, and mustard, makes it really nice and thick, creamy vinaigrette. Just like that. So it's sort of creamy, and you can see how it sort of coats the bottom of the bowl, which is perfect. I usually use a little bit of salt and pepper, not much. But again, if you have problems with hypertension, heart failure, just use less of the salt, more of the pepper. The next thing I add is some sort of onion ingredient. So this one, I'm adding some shallot. And I'm just showing you how roughly I chop this. This doesn't need to be a big, beautiful, perfect mince. I tend to actually like a nice thicker chunk, but some people really prefer a thin mince, and that's fine. What it's sort of however you like it. So mine's what I would call a mince, but it's not a fine mince. It's a coarse mince. And I'm just going to pour that all in there. And then again, you just sort of mix that all up to incorporate it. All right, so I have already coarsely chopped some parsley, some radish, and some tomato. These are the things that sort of I grow in my garden. But you could easily get from the farmer's market or the grocery store, whatever you want, whatever you have laying around. But these are the things I use. I really like the flavor of parsley, but not everyone does. So you could easily use arugula or spinach or lettuce or whatever. So this is probably about a cup of loose parsley that's coarsely chopped. And then I have, I don't know, maybe a quarter cup to a half a cup. This is kind of what the parsley or the radish looks like. It doesn't have to be perfect. You could mince it. You could make it smaller than this, but I sort of like a little slice. And then I take grape or cherry tomatoes and chop them in half. Nothing fancy. The big ones I chop in quarter. It's whatever kind of you like. And then I'm just going to kind of show you, I partially peeled this cucumber. I'm not going to use the whole thing. I'm going to use to about this line. And I take off the end and I will put in my composter, and I roughly chop the ends into sort of slices, and you will see how not fussy this is. This is really sort of a coarse dice for cucumbers. And you can do this however you like. If you like it in moons, if you like it in quarters, whatever sort of you like. But I'm gonna do these coarse chops, and then I'm gonna quarter the coarse chops. But just to show you, you could slice them in half. You could slice them in little pieces. I'm just going to show you. This is more of a coarse chop. The point of this is really none of this really matters. You just kind of want to get it in there. Now, before I did all of this, I boiled a cup of bulgur wheat with 3 cups of water. I boiled it on simmer for 10 minutes. So I put it to a boil and then simmered it for 10 minutes, turned off the heat and let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes, and then just took it off the heat and let it rest while I was doing the rest of this. And then I'm going to throw this in here and toss it all together, and it'll make a great salad. All right, so this is the bulgur wheat, and I'm just going to slowly pull it out of the pot, and it's really nice and fluffy. It's absorbed all that wonderful water. I did boil it with a little bouillon cube, but it's up to you. You could just put a little salt and pepper and a bay leaf, whatever you want for flavor. You could put a little garlic in there, and then I just mix it up. And that's pretty much all you need to do. You could put peppers in here. You could honestly put whatever you want. But this is kind of sort of the classic tabbouleh, which is shallots or red pepper or red onion, tomatoes, cucumbers, parsley. These are sort of staples in the Mediterranean diet. But this is amazing. You put it on the side of a regular salad and have a really sort of more complex salad dish, or you could put it on the side of a sandwich. It's just a great way to get more whole grains as well as more vegetables. And the more vegetables you put in here, the better. So max out the veggies, and you can serve lots and lots of people with this bowl. You can see this is a huge bowl of salad. It's really easy. This whole thing took, from start to finish, it took 20 minutes. Probably less than that because you're waiting for the bulgur to cook. So I hope you enjoy this wonderful Mediterranean salad.